Janice Poston is going to talk a little bit about YouTube as a way to caption media. YouTube does automatic captioning, as you'll learn. There's not a lot you have to do to caption your media, so we would encourage you to keep using media if you're using media. Because if you make the decision not to use media, then just by making that decision, suddenly you've made your class less accessible. But captioning is a nice way to take your media to the next step. And by the way, I was at a conference in, well, I'm going to tell you where I was because you'll be very jealous, but it was a national conference, need I say more? And so
Denver Beach.
the idea,
Hawaii?
it was Las Vegas.
Oh, who wants to go there?
That's why I didn't tell you. I wanted to leave it to your imagination. But anyway, did I tell you hit the jackpot? Never mind. I went to this national meeting of my colleagues, and we talked about accommodations, and YouTube seems to be the thing that everybody is using for captioning. It's just getting, it's the default tool because it works so well. So we're doing the right thing, and Janice is going to talk about that. Then we're going to take a syllabus, and Jackie Young has been very gracious in providing us a syllabus with all the glitches, and we're going to run it through JAWS. So everyone has the experience of actually hearing and seeing and playing a syllabus through JAWS, and you begin to sort of get an idea of the things that we can do that are common sense. And then I'm going to follow up with some tools that we're, developing in the collaboratory that we think that is going to be helpful to us in the future. They're not tools that we're ready to roll out yet, but I want to just kind of pull the curtain back slightly and let you get a peek behind so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to be operating the technology while my colleagues do the heavy lifting. So I'm going to turn it over to Janice.
Okay, thank you. The first thing that I wanted to say is that captioners have more fun. So I had to say that. Residents are supposed to be having fun, so captioners are going to have more fun. And I wanted to let you know that everyone has a YouTube account. So you don't have to feel like you have to go in and set up a separate YouTube account. You already have a Google account, which gives you access to YouTube. And it's under your Spalding email, and it's accessible right from the portal. So if you go to the portal, just like we all do many, many times throughout the day, and you click on Google Docs, this is going to be your gateway in to YouTube, Google, all the Google apps will become accessible to you. So on the next screen that you see after you click on Google Docs, you will have to click on the little apps icon up there. That's the little squares in the upper right-hand corner. And then you'll have to click on more because there are so many Google apps available that YouTube is actually on the second page. So there's a lot of things there. I encourage you to explore Google because there's a lot in there besides YouTube that's just wonderful. But YouTube is the main thing we're focusing on today. What I like about YouTube is, as Bob said, it does the automatic captioning. It's very easy to upload. Now, so let's say you've done your video in present.me, you've done it on your computer using your webcam, using just your built-in tools that are on the laptop. Then you're going to go here to the next screen after you click on YouTube, and you're going to click on upload. Okay? So you can basically do your video any way you like using any of the tools that are already present on your computer or present.me, and then you just click on upload and you begin the upload process. Now, I will tell you, it takes a little while to upload it, but that's okay. You can go do something else. We all have a lot of other things going on. Then come back and you can check. The automatic captions will be there when you come back. So if you go here to the back into your YouTube account, if you've put a little picture up there in the upper right-hand corner where the upload and the little bell is, then you'll have a little picture. If not, if you've been like me and you haven't got the picture on there yet, you'll have a little blue person. So the The little blue person is here. If you click on that little blue person, you're going to have access to something called Creator Studio. And this is where you can actually go back in, you can see your automatic captioning, you can work with it and edit it. You probably are not going to have to edit it a whole lot, but if you have a little bit of Kentucky twang like I do, you might have to edit it a little bit. So you click on that Creator Studio option, and then you're just going to go to the video. You can see all your videos over here, and you just click on that edit button, and then you will click on subtitles and CC for your captions. Then you're going to click on English Automatic, and that's going to give you an edit option where you can edit what's already there. Okay? I have found that the best browser to use for a lot of things, including this, is Chrome. Internet Explorer, I found it kind of had some hiccups when I was trying to go back and work with some of the things. So I like Chrome. Chrome is also a safer browser than Internet Explorer. You may have heard about Internet Explorer having some holes. Chrome sandboxes everything, so you're fairly safe. So there's a number of reasons why you might want to download Chrome to your computer, and it's really easy to do that. You can just go to google.com and hit the Chrome download options there. You just click on it and it downloads it really quick. And you'll be able to go back in and quickly and easily caption any video that you would like. And that will make it much more accessible to students who are hearing impaired. I have some hearing impairment myself, and I know when there's captioning available on the TV or on videos, I get so much more from it. I get kind of lost if I can't hear what's being said. I get lost in the face-to-face classroom sometimes, because unless I can sit near the front and can see the professor, and sometimes even if I can see the professor, it's really difficult for me to understand what they're saying. And I'm not as engaged in the class that way. So if you can put those captions in, then you can make your videos accessible to everyone. And they can be engaged, they can enjoy it, it can be meaningful to them. If not, you're going to lose some people along the way. And like I said, I just love that Norton has made the captioning available on like newscasts and different things on TV, because it helps me so much to have that capability. Because otherwise I have to turn it up so loud that everybody else in the house is running out of the house. So I like the idea of having the captioning. So I know from personal experience that the captioning really means a lot. Captioning is very easy to do. So I'm going to now turn it over to Bob and let him proceed on with what we're doing next with the JAWS.
Okay, and then I'm going to quickly hand the ball off, but I do want to make a couple of statements, if I might. As someone who did an online class session 6, and I made my class as accessible as I could. I think it was 90% there. And as you can might imagine, I used a lot of media in my class. And I used present.me and created my slides and went through them, and then I just uploaded them to YouTube, and I embedded the YouTube link. I would say that 80%, even with my Kentucky accent, 80% of the captioning was correct. And so that was pretty good. As a matter of fact, for the orientation for new faculty, I uploaded, that video that the Sisters of Charity developed, and you used to see it as a part of your orientation. It's about 15 minutes long or so. I uploaded that to YouTube, and it captioned it perfectly. That's because they had professional audio, of course, but it was, and thank God, for 15 minutes. You can also record directly to YouTube now. So if you're just doing a video of yourself, you can record directly to YouTube. We can show you how to do that as well. And one last thing, if I may, once you've created your transcript, then there's a button that you can push that will, your captioning. There's a button you can push that will give you a transcript. So you just push the button, it downloads into a text file, and you can take that text file and stick it right into your class as a transcript. So it does a lot of that work for you.
I may be a little slow right now, but in OT, a lot of our slides already have a lot of YouTube embedded in them from YouTube, not from us necessarily making our own. Is that already captioned, or do I have to go through this process?
Well, you'll have to see if it's captioned.
Okay.
if there's a little CC at the bottom of the page,
Yep.
and then if that CC is there, then you know it does have
That's
closed captions associated with it.
And if you find a video on YouTube, you can caption it too. So you can take it through this process and put captions in for it too as well. So, and a lot more people are captioning them, and a lot of publishers are going to be captioning them because they're aware that folks need captioned videos. So I think you'll find that it will be, that more and more you'll be seeing those coming out. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Desktop, items, view, multi-select list box, not select,
Sorry, I'll turn
dialog,
this
up,
down.
down, slider.
And Kelly's actually next.
I'm next. One of the things that Janice mentioned I want to reiterate is Chrome is wonderful. It even has a built-in screen reader that is excellent. There are screen readers built into most computers these days, but they're very basic and clunky. But a screen reader is basically a software program, and the software program analyzes the text that's on the screen and then will begin speaking that text. So it reads whatever is on the screen. One of the things that we have found is that JAWS 15 is what we have on campus now. There are some that have a lot more features that I'd like to see all over campus, and that's Read and Write Gold. You've heard me talk about that. But we wanted to give you a sample of what JAWS 15 is, because a lot of people have never had to deal with that before. And I'll tell you that our student who uses this the most, when he listens to it, I can not understand anything it's saying. It's that quick. It sounds like gibberish to me, and he understands all of it very well. But what we're going to show today is a part of a syllabus. And Bob worked very hard on this and found that when we have the basic syllabus, as we've talked about before, that has the simplistic type and tables, that you can actually save that into a PDF that is readable. Now, my concern about saying that are that there are a lot of professors who like to hand out PDFs where they've scanned chapters out of a textbook or they've scanned a journal article. Those are not simple text-based PDF files. Those are still more difficult for JAWS to read. Read and Write Gold does really well with those, but JAWS 15 is what we currently have. So we wanted to give you a taste of what a screen reader does. And while you're listening, and we're going to play it at a slower pace so you can hear it, I want you to write down anything that sounds like a mistake to you while you're listening.
Now, has everyone met Mimi O'Malley? She joined the staff about, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Brought so much value to us, and she's going to end up with a little exercise.
So while Bob's getting kind of situated and getting started, basically, simple syllabus, PDF. This is what JAWS will.
Volume, mixer, dash, speakers, left parent. Syllabus 200.
Hopefully it's just winding up. Excited.
Volume, mixer, dash, speakers, left parent, real. Set. Edit. Type in text. Document. Page has one heading and one link. Syllabus 222 abridged.pdf. Hist 222 n-u.s. Since the Civil War. Spalding University. Session 5. March 24th n-May 1st. 2014. Table with 2 columns and 4 rows. Instructor: Dr. Jackie Young. Office: library 015. A left parent down the hall from the elevator. Right parent. Office phone: 873-4385. Office hours: 8:30 n-430p.m. m-f. Email: jiang04 at spalding.edu. Table end. Course description: to graduate with either an associate or bachelor degree, Spalding University requires undergraduate students students to fulfill a specific number of credit hours in the humanities, natural sciences and mathematics, social sciences, religious studies, and communication. These general education requirements comprise the university studies component of all undergraduate degree programs. To this end, students will evidence the ability to bullet think critically, bullet communicate effectively using oral, visual, and written skills, bullet comprehend social issues from different perspectives such as literary, artistic, historical, cultural, philosophical, scientific, global, political, technological, and economic, bullet demonstrate effective interpersonal skills, and bullet understand one's personal values and religious beliefs and respect those of others. List end. Text shy G, B, and shy D, E. Left parent 2012, right parent. America A narrative history 9th ed. Vol. 2. W.W. Norton and Company Inc. ISBN :978-0-393-91264-7 left parent paperback right parent. ISBN :978-0-393-90366-9 left parent online right parent. Publisher website http://norton.com/college/history/America9/full/ left parent. The 7th, 8th, or 9th edition of the textbook may be used right parent. All written work is subject to review via Termiten.com. The instructor reserves the right to make minor changes to the syllabus. Grading scale: 400 total points. Table with 3 columns and 2 rows. A 90%-100% 360-400 PTS indicates work of excellent quality, superior grasp of the content, originality in analyzing problems, and ability to relate knowledge of the course to other knowledge. B 80%-89% 320-359 PTS indicates work of high quality, a very good grasp of content, and above average ability to apply principles intelligently. Table end. Course assignments: there are a total of 400 points in the course. Additional details about assignments can be found on Moodle. Essays N-100 points. There are 2 essays -50 points. Discussion boards N-20 points. There are 2 discussion boards N-10 points each. Table with 3 columns and 11 rows. Topics. Assignments. Week 1 March 24th N-28 covers Chapter 17-23. Mom. Intros. Bullet paper topic due on Thursday, March 27th by 5 o'clock p.m. List end. 2. Civil War and Reconstruction. Wet. The Gilded Age. Third. Jim Crow. Week 2 March 31st N-April 4th covers Chapters 24-27. 2. World War I. Wet. The 1920'S. Third. Research Day 1 N-in Library. Mom. The Progressive Movement. Table end. Critical thinking. The word left quote critical right quote is not used to imply negativity or pessimism. However, critical thinking merely means that one must not automatically accept the validity of the information he or she is given. Link http://www.yourdictionary.com/dictionary-articles/define-critical-thinking.html. Heading Level 1. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking recognizes bullet patterns and provides a way to use those patterns to solve a problem or answer a question. Bullet errors in logic, reasoning, or the thought process. Bullet may be more than one solution or more than one way to solve a problem. A. Excused absences. 1. With advance written notice provided to the instructor by the student, the university excuses absences from class for major religious holidays. University-sponsored activities or events require court attendance as certified by the clerk of court, or military duties as certified by the student's commanding officer. A major religious holiday is a day that is traditionally celebrated within one of the world's major religions. Retreats, conventions, or other functions specific to a particular congregation or denomination are not considered major religious holidays. 2. In the undergraduate day program, instructors also may choose to create written policies allowing for excused absences involving family or personal emergencies and / work-related emergencies. List end.
Okay. That gives you an idea of how literal JAWS is. And for many people, they haven't had a chance, as Bob said and Kelly, to see how JAWS actually reads a document. What I want to go through are some of the key components in a simple syllabus in Word. And I want to ask questions to you all. What did you find that maybe JAWS went through that seemed rather odd, or perhaps that JAWS didn't go through or say correctly?
Dialogue. Up, down, slider, forward.
When it was actually going through the document? Was there anything that struck you as odd when JAWS was reading this syllabus? Delwyn?
Keep saying colon, semicolon, dash.
Okay.
Forward slash, forward slash.
Punctuation?
It's hard. I close my eyes and try to act like I had the disability. And it's very hard to follow with all that. Slash, slash, semicolon,
Abbreviation.
comma.
Okay, abbreviations? Good one.
Yeah. it goes to spur.
Okay. How about headers, footers? Anybody notice that JAWS did not read our header? How about boldface, italicized, okay, underlined?
And I don't think it said the color. I think when they turn it in, it didn't.
You right?
Didn't
Right?
notice that was in. highlighted
Okay.
red.
When we got to the citation, did anybody recognize that it picked up, period versus a colon, parentheses? Reason I bring this up are, these are some areas that we don't always take into account how it's going to read in JAWS, and I want to pull out that caps, italicized, boldface words do not necessarily get picked up by a screen reader. This is very common. We want to emphasize things to our students in a syllabus, but for a screen reader, it may not pick that up. Also, some of the citation, I don't think it picked up, for instance, after America, semicolon, a narrative history, it didn't say comma, 9th edition, period, volume, period, 2. It kind of skipped over some of that. Headers, footers, again, may not get picked up by a screen reader. Thank you, you're right. Abbreviated words are a very common issue with screen readers. Going back up to our instructor's name, it read like DER, Jackie, all right? Workarounds, and this is what I have on your table, is basically a tip sheet. When you are creating a syllabus or any course document in Word, it really is useful to begin using the Word templated headers or styles. And I give an example, a screenshot of what those styles look like. So those are the built-in templates that Microsoft Word uses. And you can delineate subheadings and subsections of headings using the different templated headings. So this is kind of hard to think because we're so used to doing this on our own, but when you start thinking of course documents, start thinking about using the Word styles before you even begin writing. Also, you want to stick with a high-low contrast of colors. Notice how, as you had pointed out, it did not pick up that red color that the instructor really wanted to point out. So when you stick with the black on white contrast, it does pick up a little bit easier on that, especially in a PDF document. Again, this was a Word document. This document was originally created in Word, saved in PDF. All right. Also want to point out that you want to spell out abbreviated words. So in this case, you can either spell out Dr. Jackie Young or maybe put Jackie Young and then your credentials, EDD or PhD. All right. Another example, as Bob's going down into the actual table, here's a perfect one. Points. It kind of went psst when it went through. Hey, we all do it. Put in the abbreviation. But in this case, it'd be ideal to put in the actual points, write it, spell it out. Down below in the next table, the instructor put in abbreviation for the days of the week. It just did MON. All right. So again, spelling out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be ideal. All right. Since we're on the topic of tables, tables are a unique little child with regards to screen readers. You really don't want to have blank rows. And Bob, if you don't mind going up a little bit, I'm trying to think of the table above this one. Okay, there wasn't any. But sometimes an instructor may want to kind of delineate between rows, may add a blank row. With a screen reader, it'll just come up blank, which is very confusing for the visually impaired student. So you want to avoid blank rows in your table. Also, graphics and images. You want to avoid putting graphics or images in a table. A screen reader won't be able to read that unless you use alt text description. Lastly, and Bob, if you don't mind going back down to that table below, often that's very common is instructors will try and put multiple rows in one word table cell, and that can be very confusing because if the screen reader has been told to read from left to right, it may not make sense to the hearer, a listener, that there are multiple rows first being said before that next column is being said. So to summarize with tables, you want to create your tables that are linearized. So left to right, top to bottom. Simplicity is key with tables. Avoid graphics or images because screen readers won't pick up with them, even if they're, unless you put alt text. And lastly, in order for a table to read the header correctly, there is a particular function, I have it noted on this tip sheet, where you have to set up so that the screen reader will actually read the header every time the screen reader moves to the next column. And I just want to emphasize that we didn't get into training in this particular session, but certainly the collaboratory will be running further training classes on how to actually set up tables that are screen reader compatible throughout the next course term. Kelly, anything else you think I may have missed or avoided?
No, I think you did a wonderful job, and what we hope to move forward is now that we get some basics so people understand what a screen reader is, and that's why I keep telling you folks that I'm in awe of our students because they use these and they learn and they excel. I don't think that I could learn anything by listening to a screen reader. I would be so confused by the way that it reads things and interprets things. So next is going to be training. And I think that the collaboratory does a wonderful job with that, and we may do some later on at symposiums. But also know that technology is moving very rapidly. So it may come to a point where we don't have to worry about the next step. Phase 1, of course, is just the syllabus, but there's going to be a next step. But maybe by the time we get there next fall, there'll be some kind of technology that will make the next transition difficult for us. That's our hope.
I heard a couple things on here. I wondered if anyone else heard it. Could you scroll up to where Jackie's email address was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I'm a student listening to this, it didn't say J Young 04. It kind of went Young,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So, and then if you scroll down to the text where it said W.W. Norton, it went Wharton. See that there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem to be able to differentiate that.
Yeah.
If letters are all put together, it treats it as one word.
And that's something that I had to learn really quickly when I began working with a student who uses a screen reader only, was that, I was converting things for him and I thought, that's not going to say doctor, so I knew to type that out. And that just led me to, type out the days of the week. Any kind of abbreviation, I spell it out for him when I'm converting documents, and I put a space in between things like W dot, instead of WW, I'll put W space W space
Okay.
W.
Okay.
So it will read it individually rather than seeing it as one word and go, which is what it does at times.
I'd like to add just a little bit of a disclaimer with regard to this demonstration, and that is that this is JAWS, and it's the only program that we are using in the collaboratory. It's in the default mode. I didn't go in and manipulate it, nor am I a screen reader user. So I don't have some of those skills that people who require the accommodation and use screen readers all the time have. So we came to the conclusion that if you convert your file into a PDF, that the default version of JAWS will just read the document when you pull it up. When we used Word, as you went through Word, it would read, for example, blank, blank. You get to a table and you'd have a blank row in a table that would just read blank, blank. You convert it into PDF, those blank rows in tables are ignored by the screen reader. So it reads more fluidly. Now, it's presumptuous of us, obviously, to come to the OT, to InTech, and tell you, that this is the way it should be done. I'm only telling you that we've gotten together and made these observations and are making our recommendations based on the observations we've made. And primarily, our observations are, as you build your syllabus, just supply some common sense in terms of how you spell things out, for example, or maybe instead of dashes or parens, you might say to, May 2nd until, or something like that. So in other words, just kind of think of how you're communicating as you type your syllabus in. Is that?
And I just also want to dovetail off what Bob said. For the student side, especially for citations, if a student is listening to that citation, it's not really purely reading all the punctuation properly in APA style. So if you do have a student who needs accommodations, and when they have to do their own citations, just a little bit of compassion for that student that they may not necessarily get the correct punctuation, italicized, because it may not be reflected correctly in the screen reader that they may be using. So I know some instructors can be pretty purists when it comes to citation, and I just want to caution for that student side of it, if the screen reader isn't correctly giving the students the correct punctuation, italicized, underlining, then they may not necessarily get the correct citation to be able to learn to do it themselves correctly. So, just want to add that.
When you said you put your syllabus through and it was like 90% accessible, were you using Syllabus Assist when you did that?
No.
Okay.
Yes. May I change my answer, please? Yeah, it had just been invented, so I tried it out and it worked out real well. Yeah, okay, so again, I want to pull back the curtain on a little tool that we're developing and incubating in the laboratory that we call Syllabus Assistant. And Syllabus Assistant, in a nutshell, is a web-based syllabus creation tool. And the reason that we created it, quite frankly, was, it was a selfish, self-serving reason, and that was we had faculty, particularly adjunct faculty, who were coming to the collaboratory to do online courses, and we spent too much time making sure that their syllabus was correct, that it had the most recent policy language in it, for example, and all the dates were correct and so forth. And so we thought, we can't spend a lot of time doing this. It's a syllabus, but they were bringing syllabi in maybe that they'd used, on their C drive, and they'd used it a year ago, and things had changed and so forth. So anyway, we said, why don't we create a tool so that all of that boilerplate language is already there, and that someone can just fill in the tabs that are specific to that course that need to be filled in, and when it's published, it's published. And by the way, once the syllabus is done, it's automatically archived forever. And so if you want to pull a syllabus out, you can pull out the most recent one from the archive, and you can be pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be correct. But, so if you go to, and let me tell you the reason that we're not rolling it out campus-wide is that in order to really maximize the benefits of Syllabus Assistant, we need to build templates that contain the boilerplate language that is germane to each individual program. Each individual program will have certain language that they like to have in their syllabus. So we build these templates for the program, and then once that's done, the program can come in and be working with faculty to build syllabi based on those templates. So we don't have templates for every program right now. So that's the reason we're not, just rolling it out. In this case, I have no courses for which I have not created a syllabus. But I'm going to take this one, which Janice has been so kind to contribute, and hopefully I haven't timed out while waiting. I have. Hold on, just take a second to log back in. Okay, so because I clicked on the syllabus, it's pulling up the completed syllabus. And so as you can see, what has happened here is that I've clicked on the course without a syllabus. So it's in that first section. When I click on that, it says, what template would you like to add this to? And then you choose the template. And once you've chosen the template and push the create button, it creates your syllabus. And so that's what's happened here. Now the cool thing about this is that on page 1, it's already inserted all the data tell information. So the session information's already there. The description directly from the catalog is already there. Your drop and withdrawal dates have been inserted automatically, so you don't have to look any of that stuff up. And that's always in tab number 1. And then as you move through the tabs, you can see some things are not filled in because they're specific to the course. But things that are university policy or program policies, and this is, I think, the AAP online, or maybe it's the AAP not online. But anyway, so all of that stuff is there. Then you publish it by pushing the eyeball, and then you choose what format you'd like to publish it in, or at least share it in. So you have 3 different formats. One's a tabbed version, and for the student, it's going to look just like you saw there with the topics down the side, you know, except for the edit buttons. Okay, so they can just tab subject to subject, or they can have an inline version, which is just the HTML. So it's just one linear thing, or the PDF version, which of course is what we're recommending, you know, for syllabi, for your class to be published in Moodle. And so then this is what it would look like, all put together. It seems to handle tables very well. You know, our recommendation would be to do a copy and paste of things from a Word document, because it's not a word processing program. So I suggest you don't type directly into it. But as you if you were to, say, publish this in Moodle, put the link in Moodle, by the way, it's a link. So you're not going to download this and then upload it to Moodle. Once you've published the URL in Moodle, then as you make refinements to your syllabus as the session approaches, all of those refinements will be available in Moodle. You never have to take it out of Moodle and put a new one in. It's always there. So now I've whetted your appetite, and I have to say you can have it. But several of the programs have already started exploring it to see if, in fact, this is something that they want to use. It's just a tool, you know. It's certainly no requirement. But what's germane about our conversation today is that all of these tabs with the boilerplate information and so forth, we will assure you is going to be accommodating. So those things you won't have to run through JAWS and make sure it's going to read. If you use the program, you know that the only thing you have to worry about are the things that you put in. Everything else is going to be legible by a screen reader. So, thank you. By the way, there has been some concern about whether if you publish your syllabus with a URL, can somebody out there in the world find it through Google? Well, it's highly, highly unlikely. But if that is a concern, once your class is over, you close the eyeball. And even if someone who has the URL won't be able to see it, it'll just bring up a sign that says the instructor has chosen not to publish the syllabus at this time. Yes.
So when will this be available?
It's on a program-by-program basis. So
Why is that? Well, I mean, some programs might not just individual faculty.
Because we need if you don't have templates, then you haven't really sort of realized maximize the benefit of it. In other words, we need to have templates set up for your program, and then faculty can take those templates and build their syllabi in them. Otherwise,
Yeah, but
you just create more.
can have templates, can't they?
I think what he's saying, OT has a boilerplate,
Yeah.
and we had to have it for our accrediting body, so all our syllabi have the same boilerplate.
Yeah.
And then the data tell would fill in the other stuff, so the only thing that would be unique to each class is books,
Yeah.
assignments, those types of things.
I'm just thinking the less professional programs, there might be a lot more flexibility within that program. And just try to, by the time you get everyone in that program to agree to the template, I mean, a new technology is going to come along.
Okay, well,
We don't even know what it's like, do we?
it would be inappropriate for me to circumvent a program in everything we do. You know, we want to make sure that programs feel comfortable in adopting these tools. And so
Okay.
you may be right, but I still want to make sure that the program's making the call and not us. I hope you understand that.
Ross, I just realized I didn't ask you guys if you had any questions about the captioning tools that I showed. Does anyone have any questions about the captioning tools, about YouTube?
I have one,
Okay.
I'm still gonna sound dense, but I already have an existing YouTube that I pulled off from YouTube. And all my slides have tons of them. So when I take that YouTube, if it's not captioned, how do I caption it? Do I take it through that same process that you described?
Yes.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
take it through that same process, do the automatic captions, and
Gotcha.
we'll add those automatic captions.
Okay.
Are they your videos?
No, that's
Okay,
the
so
problem.
that
If they
is the
don't have
problem,
CC on
is
the
that-
bottom, I'm gonna have to run them right through the thing like I made them, you know?
Or there may be a transcription. And YouTube does have a transcription, but it is extremely raw and it's not certainly correct all the time. So you probably would want to take that transcription and maybe kind of double check.
Okay.
But aside from closed captioning, YouTube also has a transcription feature.
And it's in that same place
Mhm.
where that you're going in and editing, you can just download a transcript. So
Okay.
there's like there's a chevron right beside the edit button that you can choose. And as you're doing your captioning, I didn't mention this, but as you're, like, if you are working with your captions and you're editing them, it's saving them. But if you want to leave it, say you're not quite finished with all the captioning, you want to leave it, but you don't want to publish it yet, you're not finished, there is a save option there. And you just click on save, and you can leave YouTube, then you can come back and you can work with it some more and then publish it. So there's a save and publish option there for you. So, but it will save it as you're going along. And
You can just drop out of the collaboratory, we'll take a look at those
Okay,
videos, but I'm expecting that you really can only capture your own stuff.
Okay.
But we will definitely look
That would
into
make
it for
sense.
you. Yeah.
right. Yeah, if it's publisher's material, you really, nothing that's copyrighted, you can't put anything that's copyrighted on YouTube, can you? So,
I'm not going to the copyright thing.
but I mean, I don't think you can. So, but you're right, anything you did and you have audio and video that you can go back. Or if you pull a video off of YouTube, you can add captions to it.
Okay. Great.
Right, thank you all. And we're actually at 2 minutes late, right? So-
We're 2 minutes late.
Thank you. Feel
Thank
free to
you.
use the tip sheets. They're free for you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You guys are awesome.